Hey guys, welcome to my video. I am your host, the J-Man, and this is yet another follow-up, another response to Twisted Goalie's video called I Think I Know Where Marvel Went Wrong. And what he was basically referring to, that whole discussion, is that the fans are being forced to like Carly. They're being forced to accept Carly as the love interest for Spider-Man when they shouldn't have to. What should be going on is Marvel should be taking their time to develop this character. But I said that in my previous video. This video is basically to talk about some of the other things that Twisted Goalie said in his video that I really didn't have time to mention. I kind of forgot about in my other video, in my previous video. I didn't have time to say exactly what I wanted to say. So with this video, I'm basically going to be talking about a statement he made towards the end where he said that Ben Reilly was the only clone that they didn't bring back from the Clone Saga, and that he was the only good clone. And that's not exactly true. He isn't the only clone they didn't bring back. Even though they brought back Kane, they didn't bring back Spidercide. Spidercide was a minor villain from the Clone Saga. I think he was the third clone of Peter Parker and created by the Jackal. Spidercide was very weird. I don't think we ever got to see him talking or read his thoughts or anything like that. At one point, I think he was stalking Mary Jane, and it seems like he was against Kane. Really, all the clones were against each other. Except Ben Reilly and Spider-Man. But Spidercide was really a confusing character because at one point he was being manipulated by the Screer, and he went against the Jackal, and he ended up dying pretty quickly in the Maximum Clonage Saga. He fell off the side of a building. And that was the end of Spidercide. We never got any more reference or mention of him. But I think that was a good thing, and I'm not surprised that fans forget about Spidercide because his character just wasn't fleshed out at all. There was like no detail, and people didn't understand his motivation. I think it's just kind of like a side villain or another confusion aspect of the Clone Saga. But it would have been interesting to see like a what-if story on Spidercide, or maybe a one-shot kind of mentioning Spidercide. But anyway, he's gone, and he was one of the clones that they didn't bring back. But Twisted Goalie was talking about how Ben Reilly was the only clone that wasn't brought back, and that's not exactly true either, because not because Spidercide, but because Ben Reilly was brought back. They did bring him back, and the Clone Saga 09, which was written by Tom DeFalco and Howard Mackie, the biggest difference between that and the original Clone Saga is that Ben Reilly survives. He lives, and he goes on to do his thing. So that pretty much says to me the door is open, you know, right there. The door is open for Ben Reilly to come back and be a relative character once more. The fact that editor Ralph Macchio brought Howard Mackie and Tom DeFalco together and said, hey, would you guys like to write a Clone Saga alternative? And they said yes. That fact right there proves that there is support amongst the Marvel staff for bringing back Ben Reilly. So what it's going to take is just your effort, your initiative, and to bring him back, to get Marvel to actually put pen to paper. Like I said, I mentioned how you know, I'm going to take it up as my personal hobby to try to get Ben back in the comics. I'm going to do a story of my own. I'm looking for ideas, looking for inspiration, but I'm going to do a Ben Reilly story and pass it around the internet and see what happens. I don't expect it to go very far, but it would be wonderful if somebody picked it up and gave it to Marvel. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it to Marvel myself, but I just really would like to see Ben Reilly back, and I think a lot of other people out there would love it too. There are entire websites devoted to just Ben Reilly and getting him back, and petitions you can sign and things like that. But yeah, also Twisted Goalie was kind of talking about how Kane is one of the unfavorable characters from the Clone Saga that we did get a follow up on him. He had been an Amazing Spider-Man storyline called Grim Hunt, if you remember that. I think it was an 2009 story, might have been a 2010 story, but he was helping Spider-Man during that. And Kane, in essence, is he's really a pretty good character. He's a good guy. He's kind of on Spider-Man's side. You know, if you go back and you read Grim Hunt carefully, you'll see that he was protecting Spider-Man. He did end up getting killed, per se, against the Cravens, but you saw him emerge from the grave if you read the end of that story. I don't mean to spoil it for you, but Kane is probably still alive. Kane is a very confusing character. His motives were not really clear on. He is a clone of Peter Parker, but he's also very dark and deranged. And I think he's cool because a lot of times he's there to protect Peter. And if you read the Clone Saga of 2009, which I'm trying to spread awareness, I don't think enough fans realize that there's another Clone Saga out there that's an alternative, and that things happen very differently. Kane is a big part of that, and his character shines heavily in that story. I don't want to reveal too much of the ending, but I don't want people to be too down on the character of Kane and like Kane is just a bad clone and this and that. Kane is really pretty cool, and I think more writing should be done with Kane also. And if I'm going to do a Ben Reilly story, I pretty much have to include Kane. So there you have it. That's the video in a nutshell. I pretty much got all my points across. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to your comments. Twisted Goalie, please get back to me on this, and I'll see you later.